excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I call to order the 18th meeting of Heads of States of Governments of South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. It is our utmost pleasure to be in this beautiful country, home to the world's highest peace, and more importantly, one of the most hospitable people in the world. I would also like to take this opportunity to convey our sincere appreciation to the government and people of Nepal for the excellent arrangements and warm hospitality extended to all of us. I am confident that we are set for a very successful summit meeting. Before I proceed further, on behalf of our leaders, I wish to convey our sincere condolences and sympathy to the people and government of Nepal for the tragic bus crash that occurred last week. Similarly, I also extend our deep sympathy to the people and government of Afghanistan for the terrible terrorist attack last Sunday. I would now like to invite the Right Honorable Sushil Koirala, Prime Minister of Nepal, to light the lamp on behalf of Heads of State, Governments of SAARC.
इस बार मेरी आवाज आ रही है? चलिए बताओ। साथ बैठिए। Stiff it, stiff.
Let me move to the second item of the provisional agenda, which is the inaugural address by the head of government of the host country. May I now invite the Right Honorable Sushil Koirala, Prime Minister of Nepal, to deliver the inaugural address. Excellency, you will have the floor.
Put in preparatory process for the summit. Excellencies, distinguished, as we begin our summit meeting, the whole world is watching South Asia. We meet here at a time when the international environment is rapidly changing and our societies and economies are becoming increasingly interconnected and interdependent. South Asia has strategic geography. Since demographic profile with growing middle class, young, dynamic and hard-working population, increasing democratization process, abundance of natural resources, rich biodiversity and economic dynamism with a boundless market. The region has transformative potential to gain global prominence. We meet here in a new spirit with new hope and expectation of our people. We can take pride in the steady progress towards democratization in the region since the formation of SAARC. The evolution of Indian democracy as the largest, strong and stable institution is inspiring. There have been a series of elections in the region since the last summit and legitimate peaceful transfer of power. I would like to congratulate the distinguished and respected leader on this successes. While unity in the vast diversity, regional resilience, some stubborn challenges ranging from endemic poverty to international terrorism, transnational crimes and trafficking of persons, drugs and arms and climate change are constantly staring at us. They have undermined social cohesion, peace, political stability, democratization process and development. It is high time that we work honestly to confront these challenges, make proper use of resources, prove our work by our collective commitment, and deliver the promise made to the people in the region. Poverty remains an effort to our collective conscience. It has been a primary source of several worries, much friction and tension that uplifts our society. Our collective efforts in liberating our people from the dehumanizing condition of poverty and hunger will become one of the success stories of the 21st century. Poverty has multi-dimensional facets. We therefore need to push our collective efforts in critical areas as agriculture, health, sanitation, education, and women empowerment. South Asia is one of the most vulnerable regions due to natural disaster emanating from climate change and erratic weather patterns. Whether it is the melting of Himalayan glaciers or the rise of the sea level with devastating floods in the hills and plains in between, our people continue to suffer from compounding threats posed by climate change and environmental degradation. We call for a climate justice mechanism and for adaptation and mitigation measures. No one has the privilege to pollute the planet without accountability. Despite geographical proximity, our region is one of the least integrated. Lack of connectivity has kept us far apart. The volume of intra-regional trade and investment is distressingly low. It requires a quantum jump and deepening of economic linkages through full implementation of SAFTA and further liberalization of trade, including trade in services to move towards the goal of achieving South Asian economic union. We need to build roads, railways, airways, pipelines, ports and waterways to facilitate greater movement of goods, services, capital and people. These measures, I am confident, would be able to realize the theme of Kathmandu Summit, deeper integration for peace and prosperity in real sense. Mr. Chairman, in our region, we have a vast pool of young and dynamic population, while other parts of the world are facing shortages of workers. However, lack of sufficient employment opportunities at home has compelled a sizable number of youth folks to migrate to other countries for work. While remittances of the migrant workers substantially contribute to national income, these have not come without psychological, economic and social costs. This situation demands concrete regional programs for optimal utilization of human resources. We also need a mechanism to work on a common position in international forum on migrant workers for their safety, security and dignity. Excellencies, terrorism is our common enemy and a growing threat to civilized way of life. South Asia has been the worst victim of terrorism and transnational crime of various kinds. Terrorism in all forms and manifestation, including extremism and religious fundamentalism, must therefore be combated collectively and unequivocally. Any compromise on terrorism undermines the culture of peace. We have built some institutional framework under the SAARC, but we need
18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनका क्रममा अहिले प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
and effective implementation, active cooperation among our institutions and law enforcement agencies, and timely sharing of critical information. None of the challenges is more pressing in governance than the fight against endemic corruption. It is a growing threat to peace, stability and democracy and development. Our people, after their decades of arduous struggle and disproportionate suffering for a democratic system of governance, deserve accountable, responsible, transparent and corruption-free government. We need to ensure that gaps in the governance need to be bridged, and these values are not bypassed and undermined under any circumstances. We thank observer states for their engagement in the SAARC process. We need to develop suitable modalities to engage them in a meaningful way. Mr. Chairman, before I conclude, let me speak a few words on the latest political development in Nepal. The present priority before the nation is to conclude the peace process that began with the main streaming of armed rebels, with constitutional democratic policies, with the promulgation of a democratic constitution through the Constituent Assembly. We have made significant strides on key constitutional issues towards institutionalizing peace, democracy in the country. The new constitution, with the spirit of constitutionalism, political pluralism, universal democratic values, and the rule of law firmly embedded in it, will institutionalize democratic gains and lay the foundation for an inclusive federal democratic Republic of Nepal. We firmly believe that national reconciliation and national unity based on mutual trust and understanding, as enunciated by our late leader B.P. Koirala, the first elected Prime Minister of Nepal, is absolutely necessary to give stability to the nation. Leader of the 2006 People's Movement, G.P. Koirala, brought parties with different ideologies together in one platform for safeguarding national sovereignty, democracy and human rights. This continues to be our approach to the constitutionalizing process. With common commitment from political parties in the country and goodwill and support from our neighbors and friends in the international community, Nepal is set to embark on the path of peace, stability and democratic system of government. We believe that a peaceful, stable, democratic and prosperous Nepal is in the long-term interest of our neighbors and region and acts as a stabilizing force at the global level. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, I express my confidence that our complementary bind us in a framework of peaceful cooperation. However, if we look back and do self-introspection, our achievements are short of expectation. The cost of non-cooperation in a region of vast complementaries and abundance of resources has been colossal. 3 decades of experience helps us to change the gear and introduce massive economic and technical innovation. Time has come for us to decide what kind of SAARC we want to pass on to our posterity. People have patiently waited for long. They deserve to be delivered with development dividends from the benefits of the enhanced regional cooperation. Yes, I reiterate Nepal's profound commitment to the objective of SAARC. Thank you very much. Jai SAARC, Jai Nepal.
18 सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनका क्रममा अहिले भर्खरै प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले सम्बोधन गर्नुभयो। अब एकैछिनपछि उहाँलाई यो सम्मेलनको अध्यक्षता प्रदान गरिनेछ। अहिले मालदिभ्सका राष्ट्रपतिले उहाँलाई अध्यक्षता हस्तान्तरण गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। अब एकैछिनमा
Thank you, Prime Minister of Nepal, for his inaugural address. Let me now move to the third item of the provisional agenda, which is the adoption of the agenda. Excellencies, you would note that the provisional agenda and the annotated provisional agenda of the 18th SAARC Summit are contained in documents 1 and 2 respectively. If there are no comments, we may proceed to the adoption of the provisional agenda as presented before you. I take it that it is the wish of the meeting to adopt the provisional agenda. Seeing no objection, so decided. May now move to the next item on the agenda, which is the election of chair for this 18th SAARC Summit. In accordance with the customary SAARC practice, the leader of the delegation of the host country, Nepal, may be elected as chair of this 18th meeting of heads of states of government. If there are no comments, we may proceed. Seeing no objection, so decided.
प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइराला अब सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनको अब अध्यक्षता ग्रहण गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
Excellencies, before I hand over the chair, let me extend my deep appreciation to all my colleagues for their support and cooperation in advancing the work of this association since the 17th SAARC Summit. Maldives has enjoyed a rather extended tenure, but as the outgoing chair, I'm most glad that we continue to stand together, ready as ever to further this association and to bring home the full benefits of regional integration to the people of South Asia. May I now call upon the Right Honourable Sushil Koirala, Prime Minister of Nepal, to assume the chair for this 18th SAARC Summit.
अब यो सभाको सञ्चालन अध्यक्ष नेपाली प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले गर्नुहुन्छ।
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to assume the responsibility of the chairmanship of SAARC. On behalf of the people and the government of Nepal, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our Excellencies for reposing trust and confidence in me. I would like to reiterate my deep appreciation to His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Yami and the government of Maldives for successful chairmanship of SAARC since the last summit. South Asia is a region full of potential. We require strong cooperation to tap them for common benefit. I believe that the decision taken at this apex level of gathering will definitely help strengthen our partnership in the areas of common interest to realize the objective of SAARC. I am pleased to mention that Nepal's commitment to SAARC remains unwavering. Let me assure you that during its chairmanship of SAARC, Nepal will make all possible efforts to advance the cause of regional cooperation. I am fully confident that Nepal will receive support and cooperation from all the member states for our common endeavor towards peace, prosperity, and happiness of our people. Thank you. Excellencies, we now move on to agenda item number 5, which is addressed by head of state or government. I invite His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Nawaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of the Government of Islamic Republic of Pakistan, to deliver his statement.
हरेक राष्ट्रका नेताहरूले अब सम्बोधन गर्नुहुनेछ पालै पालो। सुरुमा पाकिस्तानी प्रधानमन्त्री नवाज शरीफ सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
The government of Nepal for successfully holding the SAARC summit. On behalf of my delegation and on my own behalf, I wish to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Sushil Koirala, his government and the people of Nepal for making excellent arrangements for the summit and for their warm welcome and hospitality. I congratulate you, Mr. Prime Minister, on the assumption of the chair of the SAARC summit. Pakistan stands with you in your endeavors to promote the cause of regional cooperation in South Asia. May I also take this opportunity to acknowledge the President of Maldives, His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Yameen, for the outstanding leadership his country has provided to the SAARC process since the last summit held in Maldives in 2011. I also wish to thank the Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Arjun Bahadur Thapa, and his team for their efforts towards preparation of the summit and in promoting the SAARC agenda. Excellencies, from the people of Pakistan to the people of the SAARC region, I bring warm greetings and sentiments of goodwill and friendship. Pakistan attaches high importance to SAARC. The organization has come to epitomize the hopes and aspirations of the people of our region for peace, progress and prosperity. If we look at the region, which is home to nearly 1/4 of humanity on the planet, it is mired in poverty, disease and illiteracy, with lowest human and social indicators. More than 1/5 of the population is between 15 to 24 years of age, which is the largest number of youth to ever make transition into adulthood. The region, however, accounts for only 6% of world's GDP in purchasing power parity and only 4% share in the world trade, while attracting only 3% of the global FDI. We are one of the least integrated regions in the world. The theme selected for the 18th ARC summit is important. The focus on deeper integration for peace and prosperity is most appropriate and reflects our common desire for promoting mutual understanding and reaching out to each other to create a win-win scenario. The cultural affinity among our peoples is a huge asset. Shared geography and history have culminated in a unique synthesis of cultures and traditions. We must therefore place our people at the center of the SAARC processes. SAARC must capture the imagination of an early flood forecasting systems as human-induced and natural disasters affect everybody. irrespective of national boundaries and socio-economic status. The government of Pakistan has recently launched Pakistan Vision 2025, which puts people first in our development equation through prioritizing human and social capital, promoting sustainable and inclusive growth and balanced development. In pursuing the SAARC socio-economic agenda, we must pay special attention to national development, to rural development, expansion of the agricultural resource base, development of action plans to combat communicable diseases, promotion of greater collaboration in the health sector, elimination of illiteracy, scientific and technological capacity building, and development of information and communication technologies. Excellencies, the economic development of South Asia is closely linked to the availability of energy at an affordable price. With abundant alternate energy resources available region-wide, we need to collectively focus on harnessing indigenous energy production potential. We should also consider arrangements for trans-regional oil and gas pipelines. By virtue of its geographic location at the confluence of South Asia, West Asia and Central Asia, Pakistan is a national economic corridor for the region. Promoting regional connectivity is one of the 7 pillars in our development strategy. My government is actively pursuing this initiative, which has the potential to integrate South Asia, China, and Central Asia, the 3 engines of growth in Asia. A soft visa regime would greatly facilitate the realization of these objectives. I also wish to emphasize the importance of the role of SAARC observers. SAARC can benefit from its interaction with them. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the gap between the promise of SAARC and reality of its accomplishments needs to be bridged. We should build on convergences. Minimize divergences, and most of all, seek to augment complementarities for the greater good of the people of this region. My vision for our region is a dispute-free South Asia, where instead of fighting each other, we jointly fight poverty, illiteracy, disease, malnourishment, and unemployment. We invest in our youth to unleash their creativity, talent, and enterprise. We need our bonds of trust so that we can solve our problems. Having hosted the 4th and 12th SAARC summits, Pakistan will be pleased to offer itself to host the 19th SAARC summit in Islamabad. I wish the summit every success. Thank you.
I extend my thanks to His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Nawaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, for the statement highlighting various aspects of regional cooperation and kind words addressed to me, my country, and the people. I now call upon His Excellency Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, to deliver his statement.
Right Honorable Sushil Koirala, the Prime Minister of Nepal, the Chairman of the 18th SAARC Summit, Head of States and Government, Excellencies, representatives of SAARC, observed states, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here in this historic city of Kathmandu for the 18th SAARC Summit. Please permit me at the outset to convey to you, Mr. Chairman, and the government of Nepal people, my deep appreciation for the warm welcome and generous hospitality extended to us. Mr. Chairman, the warmest felicitations to you on your assumption of the chairmanship of SAARC, and please be assured of Sri Lanka's support in achieving SAARC cooperation to the fullest. And I'm confident that under your leadership, SAARC will make remarkable progress on its existing exciting journey to make it more relevant, meaningful, and beneficial to the people of South Asia. Sri Lanka warmly acknowledges the outstanding stewardship of SAARC by Maldives as its outgoing Shah. I wish to also record our appreciation to the former Secretary General and the incumbent for their contributions. It is indeed an honor to be associated with my new colleagues who are attending a summit of our grouping for the first time. I look forward to our continued engagement. Mr. Chairman, we gather here with renewed focus, desiring deeper integration for peace and prosperity, the theme of the 18th Summit. SAARC having evolved in structure, form, and content through almost 3 decades, is at a crucial juncture. Now, there is a need to shift from the present traditional approach and move towards implementing a result-oriented, actionable plan which impact directly on the lives of our peoples. South Asia is characterized by diverse cultures, ethnic groups, religions and languages, but we are bound by values of unity and tolerance. SAARC's strength is in our diversity and harmonious coexistence. The region has plenty of valuable land and ocean-based natural resources and young, resourceful human capital, where skills we must together promote more vigorously. The region's robust 6% average growth of the last 6 years translated into some impressive improvements in human development. The implementation in Sri Lanka of the National Development Strategy contained in the Mahindra Vision for the Future focused on inclusive rural-centric development initiatives. Sri Lanka's economy has recorded a stable growth of around 7.8 over the last few years, also achieving a low poverty level of 6.5%. South Asia, with a population of over 1.6 billion people, still has 24.5% of its population living in poverty. And we cannot remain satisfied. SAARC needs to firmly address issues of poverty and exclusion, increasing disparities, between the rich and the poor, rural and urban communities, infusion of capital to infrastructure development, Mr. Chairman, creates a vibrant economic environment, inaugurating business, attracting investment, generating employment and sustainable livelihoods. This has been a policy tenet of my government in post-conflict development, which has resulted in an economic growth of 22% in the north, that is in the north province, where the terrorists destroyed everything in that province, infrastructure was destroyed, surpassing the national rate. This is a viable perception for the region, I think, Mr. Chairman. Economic cooperation within SAARC is one of the key engines driving the region towards greater regional integration. Sri Lanka continues to support the full implementation of the SAFTA. However, trade and services need to be seen not as an end in itself, but as a part of the development process. The SAFTA process was our aspiration to establish a South Asia Economic Union by 2030 must take into account the asymmetries which exist within the region, as well as particular social developmental context. No country or section of South Asia's peoples should be left behind in such processes. Addressing the challenges of lack of access to sanitation and clean water, and emerging threats such as water quality management, health hazards, including chronic kidney diseases, is at the heart of human well-being. The failure to address these issues collectively would stunt human development achievements in the region. Mr. Chairman, shelter in our countries is a dire need, and having varying degrees of success in this area, which has to be addressed. Such as climate change, a defining challenge of our times, also demands concerted regional and global responses. Sri Lanka believes on the need to graduate some member countries toward a climate change resilient future. SAARC must form a common position to the extent possible on the relevant issues and become a significant voice on the global climate platform. Mr. Chairman, though some countries, our region has acquired excellence in the areas of space technology, this advancement has captured the interest of our people, especially the young. The initiative of Prime Minister Modi to develop and launch a satellite dedicated to SAARC is a welcome initiative. Appreciate application of this technology to the areas including communication, distance education, and disaster management. The socio-economic development in the region would be greatly benefited. Mr. Chairman, we must vigorously pursue alternative methods of energy production to establish energy security. There is a clear need to develop a balanced energy mix to mitigate over dependency on fossil fuel. The framework agreement for energy cooperation will undoubtedly provide the platform to enhance regional engagement in the electricity sector. Heritage and culture are important facets of human development. I see culture as a facet which brings the region together in a unique manner. Sri Lanka's commitment in this area will be further enhanced with the completion of the state-of-the-art SAARC Cultural Center in Madura in the southern region of our country. Buddhist civilizational heritage is seen across South Asia. As we meet here in Nepal, the hallowed birthplace of the Gautama Buddha, I am inspired to come on this summit that we establish a cultural trail linking key Buddhist sites in the region through which the people of South Asia will find commonality in our shared civilizational wealth. Mr. Chan, we must recognize the need to empower youth and foster their skills acquisitions. Accordingly, I propose to the 69th session of the UN General Assembly to declare 15th July as the World Youth Skills Day with the support of all SAARC countries. A resolution has been adopted by the consensus at the United Nations. I propose that SAARC too resolves to celebrate this event collectively. The benefits of regional initiatives on infrastructure, communication, air, road and rail links must reach those in the periphery. In this regard, it is important that the regional agreements on railway and motor vehicles be progressed. There is also a need to broaden the scope of our aviation links by permitting freedom and rights for airlines to reach not only the capitals but other SAARC cities as well. The ease of air links imperative for the success of the Buddhist cultural tree. Mr. Chan, with the neutralization of the terrorist group in Sri Lanka in May 2009, a vastly changed security environment has emerged in the region. Terrorism still remains a fundamental security challenge, both regionally and internationally. Sri Lanka cannot remain complacent in maintaining safeguards against its possible resurgence. We owe to ourselves and our people to ensure that the radical views of a few and misplaced agendas of some others do not undermine the security and well-being of the large majority of peace-loving people. Firstly, in the member state and then in the region as well. South Asia's intellectual and spiritual heritage is unparalleled in many ways. The edicts of our forefathers established value systems and principles of governance similar to contemporary human rights framework. Human rights should be recognized by all as a moral and ethical concept rather than as a political tool. Sadly, however, we are witnessing motivated political agendas being thrust by extra regional entities, countries in our region, in the guise of human rights. Interventions in such form is being attempted by the scant regard to the structures and cultural traditions of societies and ground realities. while SAARC practice has been to abstain from involvement in bilateral issues of a political nature, we must resist external manipulations. It will be morally in keeping with the SAARC spirit to join force against external threats on a member states. SAARC has enjoyed useful engagement with several observer states. Sri Lanka appreciates and values their partnership through the conduct of the several capacity building initiatives. It is imperative to seek ways and means in enhancing this engagement with the observer states and consider regarding their role to a more project-based, result-oriented partnerships. At the same time, SAARC outreach to other regional groupings need further consolidations. Mr. Chairman, there is a need to redouble efforts to forge common positions at international fora on issues of critical common importance such as human rights, environment and climate change, labor, migration, equitable financial and trading systems, terrorism and etc. There is a reservoir of political will amongst us member states, and I am confident that it would be harnessed towards this end. At this summit, let us resolve to break through the shackles of bureaucracy and pursue a cooperative action-oriented path. This will pave the way to a wonderful opportunity to elevate this region to one of prosperity and peace for all our peoples. Let us resolve to do so in earnest. This collective undertaking will make our commitment to the theme of this summit and to SAARC even deeper. May the Triple Gem bless you all. Thiruvan Saranai.
I thank His Excellency Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, the President of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, for the statement with insightful remarks about SAARC and kind words addressed to the Chair, Nepal and the people. Thank you. I now invite His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Ashraf Ghani Ahmadari, the President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, to deliver his statement.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency Prime Minister Sushil Kurella, Chairman of SAARC, distinguished heads of state and government and observer missions, foreign ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here in Nepal, where peace through democratic consensus is being established and where regional cooperation is being practiced. I express our deep appreciation to the government and people of Nepal for the excellent arrangements and the warm hospitality. I wish to join my other distinguished colleagues, Prime Minister Kurella, on your election as the chairperson of SAARC. We look forward to your energetic leadership of our organization. I assure you of Afghanistan's full support and cooperation. I wish to thank His Excellency, the President of Maldives, for his excellent stewardship of SAARC as the outgoing chairman. I also commend our Secretary General and his team for their commitment and tireless efforts. Deeper integration for peace and prosperity, our theme, is an imperative. Threats to our daily routines and national security come from networks of violence without passports, and constraints and opportunities conditioning the life chances of our citizens are defined by the ability of leaders in government, business, and civil society to shape the regional and global environment for collaboration and cooperation. The test of leadership is therefore to change the rules of the game in the playing field among the nations from confrontation to cooperation. I lead a country marked by recurrent acts of terror against the innocent. The tragedy of Yahya on Sunday, where 57 of our citizens were murdered in cold blood during a game of volleyball, is a reminder, as is the earlier tragedy of Wagah in Pakistan. To hold wounded children in one's arm in a hospital, as I was late Sunday evening, is to feel the depth of our fall from our sense of shared humanity in the values of our great religions. Firms, networks, and states provide the connecting tissue of our interconnected world, while functioning states enable legitimate firms and virtuous networks to thrive. Collapse or failure of states results in emergence of ungoverned spaces that provide the breeding ground for criminal enterprises and networks of violence to form symbiotic relationship. The relation becomes lethal when state actors embrace and sponsor these non-state actors, providing them with resources and sanctuaries, and use them as proxies in their competition against other states. Regardless of the rationale for the genesis of the symbiotic relationship that produced reliance on non-state actors by states as instruments of competition, it should be clear that such measures have blowback effects, destabilizing the state system as such. Deeper integration within SAARC, therefore, requires honesty in facing the various degrees of hostility, now covert and now overt, between and among our countries, in making genuine commitment to address the root causes of violence within and across our countries, in forging instruments of cooperation to bring lasting peace to our people and societies. The humane and tolerant values of our civilizations and religions should enable us to articulate visions of inclusion and participation to the poor and excluded from within our cultural discourses to heal the wounds of conflict. Deeper integration for peace also requires acknowledge of failures of governance, such as corruption, exclusion, and injustice on the part of the rich and powerful. Legitimate use of force in the quest for claiming legitimate monopoly of force by the state requires that political disagreements must be dealt with politically. Every problem must not be viewed as a nail to be hit with a hammer of force. Pursuit of peace through political means is therefore the other side of our determination to confront terrorism. Deeper integration for prosperity is even more of an imperative for a country. India's steady growth, followed by others in SAARC, has shown that we have the capability not to be home to the largest number of the poor in the least economically integrated region on earth. Yet we have been unable to muster the sense of urgency to translate the discourse of cooperation into reality. The constraint is in political will and in perceived interest of certain segments of our economic and political elites, requiring different ways of seeing, to move, to walking the talk. An Asian continental economy is in the process of emerging. But whether the energy resources of the Caspian Basin in Central Asia, estimated at 600 trillion cubic meters of gas and tens of thousands of megawatts of electricity, will power SAARC's transformation from factor-driven growth to efficiency and innovation growth depends on our collective will. As we speak, Europe is planning and investing in the smart grids to connect the Caspian and Central Asia to its south. As time does not stand still, each country is forced to make decisions on regional and global outreach that will create path dependence. It will not be geography or history, but economic ties that will determine the orientation, life chances, and therefore the sense of identification of our young people with Southeast Asia, East Asia, or West Asia. Located as we are in the heart of Asia, we in Afghanistan registered and are affected by movement and tremors of all parts of Asia, driven by the vision of becoming the Asian roundabout, where goods, ideas, and people will flow in all directions, as was the case for 2 millennia prior to the advent of colonialism. We are determined to bring peace, stability, and prosperity to the region and ourselves. We offer platforms of cooperation by the 5 intersecting sectors of our foreign relations: our neighbors, the Islamic world, North America, Australia, Europe, and Japan, Asia, and development organizations, regional and global firms, and regional and global civil society networks. We will not allow our territory to be used against any of our neighbors, but we will not permit anybody to conduct proxy wars on our soil either. Having completed the first democratic transfer of authority from one elected president to another, we shunned the prevalent practice of winner-take-all and formed the government of national unity. From all of whose members, Dr. Abdullah and the Vice Presidents and President Karzai, I bring greetings to all of you distinguished leaders and colleagues. As bringing peace to our country is our top priority, we're steadily creating the national, regional, and global enabling environment for it. We have moved CASA 1000, the first, we hope, of many projects to bring energy from Central Asia to SAARC by breaking the deadlock over the tariff. We're determined to make TAPI a reality, to translate our latent assets, location, water and land, mineral and hydrocarbon, money and entrepreneurial energies of our people into well-being for our people. We're determined to create systems of accountability that will result into a compact between citizens in the state and our national partners, particularly within the South. Looking at Afghanistan as a fulcrum point within a regional network rather than as a national economy in isolation, we can see the prospects of a new regional economy. To the north, there are pipelines that extend deep into Central Asia. To the west is access to oil and employment. To the south, we can extend transport and improve transit. Seeing Asia as a single region opens up entire horizons for rethinking our strategies for growth and development. Looking south, we see areas where focus on early wins could open up the prospects for deepening and broadening regional cooperation. Generation, transmission, and trading in power, building on CASA, or in obvious for it. Gas in oil pipelines, telecom and fiber optic networks and satellites, and railways and highways will follow. The breakthrough, however, will not be in ensuring connectivity, but in innovations, in designing, financing, building, and using, and operating and maintaining the infrastructure that will be the precondition and result of our cooperation. The construction industry, a significant driver of growth in efficiency and innovation-driven economies, has been having erratic growth in our region. We're sought to form a commission on infrastructure and connectivity to explore and demonstrate the advantages of regional cooperation to key groups of stakeholders in the public at large. We might be able to align vision and delivery. Embarking on Afghanistan's national infrastructure plan, We invite innovators from the region to joining us in creating world-class facilities. Mr. Chairman, having been plunged into conflict in 1978, we're determined to create a virtuous circle of peace, stability, and prosperity. As the President of Afghanistan, and as a servant of the people, my masters, I am committing our country to deep integration for peace and prosperity. Thank you.
18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन जारी रहेको छ र खास गरी अहिले भर्खरै खास अफगानिस्तानका राष्ट्रपति मोहम्मद अब्दुल घनीले सम्बोधन गर्नुभएको छ र अब यसपछि खास गरी प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले भर्खरै सम्बोधनका लागि अब नयाँ शेख हसीना बङ्गलादेशका प्रधानमन्त्रीलाई बोलाउनु भएको छ र बङ्गलादेशका प्रधानमन्त्री अब सम्मेलनका लागि आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ। खास गरी भारत र पाकिस्तानको विषय अहिले पनि केन्द्रमा रहेको छ र भारत र पाकिस्तानको प्रधानमन्त्री बीचको भेट नहुने कुराकानीले अहिले प्राथमिकता पाएको छ र उहाँहरूबिच अहिलेसम्म हेराहेर समेत भएको छैन र यो किसिमले यो सार्क सम्मेलन भारत र पाकिस्तानको मुद्दाले पनि बढी केन्द्रित छ। अब बङ्गलादेशको प्रधानमन्त्री शेख हसिनाको सम्बोधनतर्फ हामीहरू तपाईलाई सिधै प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणमा जोड्दैछौँ।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Chairperson, Your Excellency Prime Minister Sushil Koirala, Honorable Presidents and Prime Ministers of SAARC's member states, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, a very good morning to you all. I am delighted to be in this beautiful valley of Kathmandu for the 18th SAARC summit. I would like to extend my warmest felicitation to Prime Minister Sushil Koirala for his election as the chair of SAARC. I am confident that SAARC will attain greater heights under his wise stewardship. I would also convey my deep appreciation to the government and the people of Nepal for the warm hospitality and excellent arrangements made for the summit. I would also like to commend the leadership of the Maldives, our outgoing chair. Our association was created 3 decades ago with the core objectives of building partnership for the welfare and prosperity of the people. Looking back, one would have the impression that its achievements have been rather modest compared to our expectations and potentials. Yet, I remain optimistic of what SAARC can actually attain given our collective political will and ambitions. What is needed is to set aside our differences and work on collective strength for bringing real progress to the people in the region. A candid assessment and frank conversation among us is the need of our to bring dynamism to SAARC and its activities. Mr. Chairman, for long we have been talking about People's SAARC. The new global agenda also requires that we place people first. Let me therefore share some of my thoughts on some of the critical areas that need our urgent attention. First, poverty as our common and key enemy hinders peace and development in the region. Ensuring food and nutritional security of our ever-increasing population poses a big challenge. However, over decades, much of South Asia has attained self-sufficiency in production of key cereals. This has helped us reduce abject poverty and improve our MDGs profile. In Bangladesh, with an average growth rate of 6.2% for the last 5 years, we have reduced poverty to 24.4% by now from 40 in 2005. We have attained targets of universal safe drinking water and sanitation for the people. We need to do more as we have targeted to turn Bangladesh into a middle-income country by 2021 and a developed country by 2041. Cooperation in increasing productivity of key cereals, inland fisheries, and livestock, improving water efficiency in agriculture are crucial for attaining nutritional security of our people and eradicating poverty. In this context, effective operation of SAARC food bank and seed bank are important. Second, each of our countries has a large youthful population. We now need to develop them as human resources, primarily by giving them quality education and effective training. In Bangladesh, we have taken innovative steps to ensure education for all. Girls are getting free education up to graduation level. About 12.8 million students from poor families are getting monthly stipend. 75% of them are girls. Each year, we are distributing nearly 318 million textbooks free to all students. Third, technology, especially ICT, determines our everyday life in so many ways. It is changing our lives and livelihoods, bringing solutions that we could not even thought of a few years back. To fulfill our vision to build digital Bangladesh by 2021, we have established 5,275 digital centers across the country. Rural people have been receiving more than 200 ICT-related services from the centers. They are also getting healthcare services from 13,500 IT-connected community health clinics with free medicine. We have so far set up over 3 million solar home systems. We have increased teledensity to 77.3% from 31.3 in 2008, and internet density to 27% from 2.8 during the last 5 years. For achieving development faster, we must deepen our collective efforts to develop, use, and apply science, technology, innovation at all levels. We need support in health, agriculture, food, and climate change technologies. Bangladesh would call for deeper cooperation in this area. Fourth, climate change poses a serious challenge to much of our development enterprise. Intensity and frequency of disasters in our countries are rising. The risks are so great that for Bangladesh, climate change may wipe out 2 to 3% of our annual GDP, including displacement of more than 30 million people by 2050. To address the challenges of climate change related risk effectively and comprehensively, we have adopted a national climate change strategy and national plan of action. We have so far allocated $385 billion from our own resources for adaptation and mitigation. At SAARC level, we need to secure result-oriented implementation of our regional agreements and plans through cross-border initiatives. Fifth, optimum supply of energy remains fundamental to ensuring speedy growth and sustainable development of our people. Progress on the SAARC framework agreement on electricity cooperation is laudable. Energy is a sector where we have much to tap in terms of regional hydropower. There are aspects like energy regulation, efficiency and conservation, regional power grid, where we can work beneficially. It is therefore the time to commit ourselves on regional, sub-regional and bilateral initiatives for development of energy sector in a comprehensive manner. Sixth, the new global development agenda requires us to focus on our fourth frontier, the Indian Ocean. There is so much to benefit through collaborative exploration of the living and non-living marine resources. The ocean resources-based blue economy can play a critical role to sustainable development of the SAARC regions. We should collaborate on development of capacities, partnerships and research in utilizing our marine resources. Our common undertakings must secure protection, development and exploration of seas and oceans in a sustainable manner. Seven, physical connectivity is important in ensuring overall peace, progress and stability across South Asia. Multimodal physical connectivity links territories and communities of SAARC. Bangladesh approaches connectivity in a wider context. We believe in connecting ideas, knowledge, technology, culture, people, road, rail, air, movement of goods, services and investments. Bangladesh will appreciate the early signing of the Regional Motor Vehicles Agreement and Regional Railways Agreement. Beyond those, I would urge all SAARC leaders at the podium to lend their support to advance implementation of the agreed regional outcomes on connectivity. At the same time, we need to focus on increasing intra-regional trade. Early, the effective implementation of SABDA remains important. We will particularly need to address the non-tariff and para-tariff barriers. Our people want to see robust actions on the ground. They are more focused on outcomes than process. Mr. Chair, over the years, some of our SAARC observers have brought in useful knowledge and support. Bangladesh value their contribution and engagement with SAARC. In SAARC, a number of regional centers have generated important regional goods, knowledge and ideas. We must support them in all possible ways to develop them as centers of regional excellence. 40 years ago, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in his maiden speech at the UN General Assembly said, I quote, "The Bengali nation is place-bound to establish a global order based on peaceful coexistence, social justice and freedom from poverty, hunger, exploitation and aggression." Unquote. The vision continues to guide Bangladesh's national development pursuit and our engagement in regional and global affairs. Let us focus on undertaking more realistic, result-oriented and mutually beneficial partnership for cooperation to prosper together. Let that be our contribution to redeem our place to our people to live a more peaceful, progressive, connected and knowledge-based South Asia. I thank you all. Khuda Hafiz. Jai Bangla. Jai Bangla.
हामी 18औं SAARC शिखर सम्मेलनको प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणमा रहेका छौँ र पहिलो त्यसको प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारण गरिरहेको
I thank Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Bangladesh, for her statement expressing views on strengthening regional cooperation, and I am grateful for your kind words and address to me in person. Thank you. I now invite His Excellency Lieutenant Sharon Togwe, the Prime Minister of Royal Government of Bhutan, to deliver his speech.
जसले बैठकको अध्यक्षता पनि सम्हाल्नुभएको छ र अब भुटानको प्रधानमन्त्री लाइन्चन सेरिङ तोब्गे सम्बोधनका लागि मञ्चमा आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ र शेख हसिनाले यसअघि सम्बोधन गर्नुभएको थियो र अब हाल भुटानी प्रधानमन्त्री सेरिङ तोब्गेको भएको छ उहाँले सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to convey the warm greetings and good wishes of His Majesty King Jigme Khesar Namgyal Wangchuk, the government and the people of Bhutan, to this august gathering and to the friendly people of Nepal. Nepal is a country of breathtaking beauty. As our chairman, let me also congratulate Mr. Arjun Bahadur Thapa on his assumption of the post of Secretary General of SAARC. I am confident that he will utilize his rich experience in international affairs and proven diplomatic skills for the benefit of SAARC. We also owe our gratitude to the former Secretary General, Mr. Ahmed Salim, for his dedication and diligence in advancing the goals of SAARC. Mr. Chairman, my delegation welcomes deeper integration for peace and prosperity as a theme of the 18th SAARC Summit. We believe that whether we do so now, on our own terms, or later, under compulsion, forces are at play which can only be adequately addressed through the collective endeavors of all nations. Such united, coordinated responses are imperative in order to tackle cross-border crimes like terrorism, trafficking in humans and drugs, as well as to address wider common challenges like climate change, poverty alleviation, and indeed to realize our dreams of prospering together through increased Flash floods and landslides have become recurring events, causing widespread damage and destruction in our countries. The increasing frequency of devastating floods each season is an alarming trend that we can no longer afford to ignore. We must redouble our efforts in accelerating action to avert potential dangers from environmental degradation. Our region should exert itself to fulfill regional and international commitments to protect the environment and build resilience against climate change. National action must spur even greater collective action at regional and international levels. In this regard, I would like to draw attention to the latest report on the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which was summarized by the influential US magazine Mother Jones in 3 simple sentences. It's getting hotter, we are causing it, and we have to act now. Mr. Chairman, Bhutan welcomes the closing of 3 regional centers and merging of our related centers into one as the SAARC Environment and Disaster Management Center. The establishment of this new center will reduce costs, avoid overlapping of activities, and contribute to making the programs more effective. Bhutan offers its support and cooperation to the center in fulfilling its mandate. Mr. Chairman, poverty alleviation is our region's unfinished work. We cannot claim to be custodians of the world's great civilizations and yet allow so many among us to go hungry and exist in dehumanizing levels of want and deprivation. Our region is blessed with abundant natural resources, but we need to ensure that the bounty from these is used optimally and distributed more equitably. But it is a human resource that is our greatest and most precious asset. We have 1/5 of the world's population. That population, with a young demographic dividend, can transform the socio-economic landscape of the region. But our young population need to be provided not only with better education and skills development, but also with enabling policies to unlock their unlimited potential. Our poverty elevation strategy must therefore be aimed at making optimal use of both our abundant natural resources and our rich human resources. Mr. Chairman, I am pleased to report that in Bhutan we have made good progress in improving the living conditions of our people. 94% of the population has access to safe drinking water. Primary health coverage is 90%. And net primary school enrollment stands at 98.5%. However, poverty in the midst of growing prosperity remains a great challenge for us, as 12% of our population still lives as a small and least developed country that believes in and practices gross national happiness. My government is committed to reducing poverty and improving the socio-economic well-being of all our people. Mr. Chairman, the most obvious path to a more prosperous South Asia is through increased intra-regional trade. At present, this is dismally low due to the many barriers that have been holding back meaningful economic cooperation in our region. In this context, we welcome the progress towards the finalization of SAARC agreement, deeper integration for peace and prosperity by giving a strong commitment to remove the barriers that have held back meaningful economic cooperation in our region. Other regional groupings have done it, and their peoples have been enjoying the benefits. Let us exercise our political will and take the necessary steps to make it possible for the people of South Asia to also reap the full benefits of close regional cooperation. I thank you for your kind attention. Tashi Dele.
पहिलो पोस्ट.com अहिले 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनको लाइभमा छ। अहिले भर्खर भुटानका प्रधानमन्त्री छिरिङ तोब्गेले आफ्नो मन्तव्य दिएर जानुभएको छ। उहाँले गरिबी निवारण, जलवायु परिवर्तन जस्ता विषयहरूमा सार्क क्षेत्रमा के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुराहरू उहाँले भनेर जानुभयो। उहाँले हिमपात, हिमनदी जस्ता विभिन्न समस्याहरू छन्, यस्ता समस्या कसरी समाधान गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने विषयमा पनि उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन अहिले काठमाडौँको सभागृहबाट भइरहेको छ। सभागृहमा अहिले 8 सार्क राष्ट्रका सरकार प्रमुखहरूले आफ्नो मन्तव्य दिइरहनु भएको छ उद्घाटन सत्रमा। अहिले हामी पहिलो पोस्ट.com को लाइभमा छौँ। अब भारतका प्रधानमन्त्री नरेन्द्र मोदी आफ्नो मन्तव्यका लागि मञ्चमा आउनुभएको छ। उहाँको मन्तव्य अब प्रसारण हुँदैछ।
Prime Minister Sushil Koirala ji, my colleagues from South Asia, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to return to Kathmandu. Koirala ji, congratulations on organizing an excellent summit. Thank you, Nepal, for your warm hospitality once again. Greetings to observer countries present here. This is my first SAARC summit, but this is the second time I'm meeting most of you together. I stepped in the office with the greetings of the entire world. But what moved me, dear colleagues, was your personal presence with the good wishes of 1/4 of the humanity. Because the future I dream for India is the future I wish for our entire region. The last summit was 3 years ago. Only 2 of us here were present in Adu. Even Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has come here after her re-election. President Rajpaksha will soon go into one, and I wish him good luck. I especially welcome our newest colleague, President Ghani. Ours is a region of thriving democracy, of rich inheritance, the unmatched strength of youth, and a strong thirst of change and progress. In the last few months, I have traveled around the world. From the middle of the Pacific to the southern coast of Atlantic Ocean, I see a rising tide of integration. And negotiations on major trade agreements such as regional comprehensive economic and confidence that comes from the many inspiring stories of innovation and initiative in each of our countries. There is much to learn from each other, even more to do together. That was the vision and aspiration that brought us together as SAARC 30 years ago. We have traveled a long distance together since then. We have an agreement, an institution, or a firm framework of a cooperation in every field. We also have many successes. 8. When we speak of SAARC, we usually hear 2 reactions. I'm sorry to say, but we always hear 2 reactions: cynicism and skepticism. This sadly is in a region throbbing with the optimism of our youth. Today, less than 5% of the region's global trade take place between us. Even at this modest level, less than 10% of the region's internal trade take place under SAARC free trade area. Indian companies are investing billions abroad, but less than 1% flow into our region. It is still harder to travel within our region than to Bangkok or Singapore, and more expensive to speak to each other. How much have we done in SAARC to turn our natural wealth into shared prosperity, or our borders into bridgeheads to a shared future? Yet, South Asia it has been a privilege to provide assistance of nearly $8 billion in South Asia over a decade. It may not seem a great amount in these times, but we are grateful for the opportunity to have made a difference to the lives of a few brothers and sisters in our region. Each of us has taken initiatives. However, as SAARC, we have failed to move with the speed that our people expect and want. Some argue that it is because of the region's development gap, but that should actually spur us to do more. Or is it because we are stuck behind the walls of our differences and hesitant to move out of the shadows of the past? This would not resolve our differences, but will certainly deprive us of opportunities. Today, goods travel from one Punjab to another Punjab through Delhi, Mumbai, Dubai, and Karachi, making the journey 11 times longer and the cost 4 times more. India, too, has its share of responsibility because of our size and location. I know that many of your goods too have to do a parikrama of India to reach their destinations. Just think of what we are doing to our consumers and to our environment. We must shrink the distance between our producers and consumers and use the most direct routes of trade. I know India has to lead, and we will do our part. I hope each of you will too. Infrastructure is our region's greatest weakness, and it is most pressing need. When I thought of coming to Kathmandu by road, it made many officials in India nervous because of the condition of the roads at the border. Infrastructure is my greatest priority in India, and also want to set up a special purpose facility in India to finance infrastructure projects in our region that enhance our connectivity and trade. We speak of ease of doing business in India. Let us extend this to our region. I promise to ensure that our jobs for your youth. I also look to a future when your companies can easily raise funds in India for investments at home. And when we cross border industrial corridors, so that we can take advantage of the natural synergies and connect our lives in our border states. I also believe that if we can light up each other's towns and villages, we can build a brighter tomorrow for our region, or face a future when someone looks down at us from space and says that this is the world's darkest corner. Let us treat electricity as a commodity like any other that we invest and trade in. India will fully support this initiative in the region. We should also think with ambition to use solar energy and microgrids to quickly provide clean power to villages across the region. our relations become stronger. When we connect the lives of the ordinary citizens of our countries, that is why connectivity and services by rail and road are so important. We should also connect ourselves more by air. We will not only make a difference to the lives of our people, but also promote tourism in the region. We should use the strength of shared heritage and our diversity to encourage tourism within our region. Education. India is prepared to connect our South Asian students through online courses, e-libraries. When we set up India's national knowledge network, we will be happy to extend it to the SAARC region. The dream of a South Asian university has become a reality in New Delhi. But to be truly South Asian, it must also have a partnership with at least one university in each SAARC country. Excellencies, India's gift of a satellite for the SAARC region will benefit us all in areas like education, telemedicine, disaster response, resource management, weather forecasting, and communication. You will also host a conference in India for all South Asian partners next year to strengthen our collective ability to apply space technology in economic development and governance. And we plan to launch our satellite by the SAARC Day in 2016. As neighbors, we should also be together in good and bad times. India's capability and expertise in disaster management will always be available to South Asia. Equally, as we reach out to our Indians caught in conflicts and disasters around the world, we will also be there for all our South Asian citizens. Excellencies, a prosperous SAARC needs the strong foundation of secure South Asia. If we are sensitive to each other's security and the lives of our people, we will deepen friendship, SAARC or outside it, among us, all or some of us. We can all choose our paths to our destinations. But when we join our hands and walk in steps, the path becomes easier, the journey quicker, and the destination closer. मैं कभी कभी कहता हूं कि हम एक के पास एक होते हैं तो 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 8 होते हैं, लेकिन एक के साथ एक खड़े हो जाते हैं तो एक 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 करके संख्या अरबों खरबों में पहुंच जाती है। पास होने से साथ होने की ताकत अनेक गुना ज्यादा होती है और इसलिए SAARC देशों के लिए समय की मांग है। हम पास पास भी हैं लेकिन साथ साथ भी हो। I say this as much to my government and people as I say to you. We are meeting in the lap of Himalaya, which has nurtured us through the ages. Today, it is calling us to act. Let us work to change cynicism into optimism. Let us turn South Asia of flowering hope into rich field of peace and prosperity. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
भारतीय प्रधानमन्त्री नरेन्द्र मोदी 18औं शिखर सार्क सम्मेलनलाई सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। उहाँले दक्षिण एसियाली देशहरूसँग असीमित सम्भावनाहरू भएकोले तिनीहरूलाई विकासका लागि प्रयोग गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। उहाँले खास गरिकन यो युग भनेको सामाजिक सञ्जालको युग हो र यसलाई त्यो ढङ्गले दक्षिण एसियाली देशहरूमा पनि नेटवर्क विस्तार गर्न सकिन्छ भन्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी जनअपेक्षा अनुसार अगाडि बढ्न सार्क असफल भएको छ पनि उहाँले भन्नुभयो, किनभने जनताको अपेक्षाहरू ठुला छन्, ती अपेक्षा पुरा गर्न सार्कले अझैसम्म पनि सकेको छैन भनेर उहाँले बताउनु भयो। त्यसैगरी यहाँका 5% भन्दा कम यहाँ क्षेत्रीय व्यापार भइरहेको छ। भारतका धेरै देशहरू सिङ्गापुर र ब्याङ्ककसम्म कम्पनीहरू व्यापार गर्न पुग्छन्, तर यही देशमा यी क्षेत्रीय देशहरूमा गर्न सकेका छैनन्। त्यसैले त्यो वातावरण बनाउन, त्यो वातावरण निर्माण गर्न सबै देशहरू लाग्नुपर्छ उहाँको मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त थियो। त्यसैगरी विगतका कुराहरू सम्झेर सार्क राष्ट्रहरूले अझै पनि विकासका कुराहरू गर्न नसकेको उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्नुभयो, किनभने विगतका कटुताहरू बिर्सिएर नयाँ एकतामा अगाडि लाग्न सकेमा मात्रै सार्क राष्ट्रहरूले आफ्नो अभिभारहरू पुरा गर्न सक्छन् भन्नुभयो। अहिले हामी लाइभमा छौँ पहिलोपोस्ट.com, हामीसँग मनोज सत्याल हुनुहुन्छ। मनोज,
भारतीय प्रधानमन्त्री नरेन्द्र मोदीले यसअघि भने चाहिँ खास गरी थोरै भए पनि हिन्दीमा पनि सम्बोधन गर्नुभयो र उहाँको भनाइ के थियो भने पास हैं साथ साथ हैं भनेको मतलब हामी जति नजिक हुन्छौँ त्यति सँगसँगै अगाडि बढ्न सक्छौँ भन्ने कुरो गर्नुभयो। र अब मालदिप्सका राष्ट्रपति खास गरी धन्यवाद दिनका लागि नेपाललाई हस्तान्तरण गरिसक्नु भएको छ उहाँले अध्यक्षता हस्तान्तरण गरिसकेपछि अब सम्बोधनका क्रममा हुनुहुन्छ।
والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Mr. Chairman, distinguished Prime Minister of Nepal, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, the Secretary General, distinguished observers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have come from the shores of the lowest lying countries in the region to the highest peaks and the most beautiful valleys. I must commend Your Excellency, Mr. Koirala, Prime Minister of Nepal, SAARC's new chairman, for the excellent arrangements made for us. I would also like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to His Excellency, Mr. Arjun Bahadur Thapa, on his assumption of office as Secretary General of our association. Excellencies, during our recent chairmanship, the Maldives took a keen interest in institutional reform of the organization. We sought to make SAARC more relevant, goal-oriented, and result-based. We listened to the often heard saying that SAARC was very efficient in having meetings regarding every aspect of South Asia, but less effective in delivery than perhaps we had hoped to be. We wanted SAARC to move towards regional resilience, to make SAARC an organization that gives the people of this region a collective and common identity, one that made South Asians proud. I congratulate you, the member states, and the ever so diligent Secretariat on delivering reforms that are necessary and imperative. Excellencies, our engagement with other regions and countries have been revitalized. I have no doubt that there is indeed much scope for further strengthening such ties. We live in a globalized world where inter-regional relations matter. We need to focus on international regionalization. But we also need to focus on building our relationship with other countries that are keen to work with us. Dialogue partners are interested in the advantages that our innovative, creative, and youthful populations can offer. And it will only be to our mutual benefit to engage with partners as a group rather than individually. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, the chosen theme for this summit, deeper integration for peace and prosperity, encapsulates some of the core values and stated objectives of our organization. This region accounts for 1/4 of the world's humanity. Yet as a region, we hold limited sway, have limited say, and we have not been heard enough in the power rooms of the world. The vision of our founders was clear. It was grounded on the cherished bonds of shared civilization, common history and culture of the new millennium. At that meeting, we concentrated in a big way on the realization of the Millennium Development Goals, in the hope of realizing poverty eradication around the region. 12 years later, we are here again, at the cusp of the post-2015 development agenda, and yet again, we shall renew our commitment to end poverty across the region. One such avenue to deepen our integration to realize poverty alleviation is trade. Commerce underscores good neighborly relations, unlocks the doors to each other's communities. Trade fosters mutual understanding and benefits, moving entire communities from poverty to prosperity. If trade holds the answer to tackling poverty, eliminating barriers to trade is its linchpin. Without mutual trust, trade can never foster. And without trade, without commerce, we cannot improve the lives of our people. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, the true potential of the region may be unlocked, and the relations between us deepen through innovation, drive, and most importantly, leadership. Regional growth and prosperity most certainly requires the contribution, cooperation, and commitment of all states within the region. Yet, given the geographical, economic, and political complexities, it is natural that some states will take the lead role and steer the region on an upward developmental trajectory. We are particularly encouraged by the example set by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We are inspired, Excellency, by your various initiatives in this short period of time towards strengthening regional relationships, including the Neighborhood First policy. These are steps in the right direction, a signal of the renewed activism with which India is facing SAARC. Excellencies, as a region, SAARC has the right and surely the might to make it one of the most powerful regions in the world. Yet we continue to be led rather than lead. Even when we continue to progress and bring development to our countries, poverty and destitution remain rampant. Despite our share of global population, we have no collective voice. Our region will be one of the most affected by climate change. Yet we continue to be complacent in taking action as a group. We continue to leave climate change on the back burner. The Maldives, as the next chair of IOCIS, will be looking to our friends to support during crucial years ahead. I ask you, should we not demand for what we want? Should we not stand up for what we believe? Dare we not speak up for what is right for our people? Is it not time, Excellencies, that we stand up to receive our share, raise our voice in the international arena? Is it not time that we forge common positions on critical issues of importance and defend them ardently? Individually, most of the countries in this region are too small to hold a loud voice. Yet, collectively, we can cross oceans and scale mountains. It is time that we start putting South Asia first. Our challenge today is to work towards peace, security, and economic sustainability in the SAARC region, to harness the full potential of every corner of this region, to deliver prosperity that is felt by every individual, seen in every community, realized in every country, and appreciated by the rest of the world, to transform SAARC from a group of aspirations to an association of action and result. Next year, SAARC celebrates its 30th anniversary. It is also a time of celebration and joy in my own country, Maldives, as we celebrate our Golden Jubilee of Independence. Such milestones not only offer us an opportunity to look back on what has been achieved, it is more importantly an opportunity to chart the course for future, reaffirm, resolve, and reassess priorities. I firmly believe at this point and juncture
व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी व्यापारका समस्या घटाउनुपर्छ, जसका लागि विश्वासको वातावरण बनाउने र कानुनी अवरोध हटाउने कामहरू मुख्य हुन् उहाँले भन्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी सार्क विश्वकै एउटा शक्तिशाली क्षेत्र हो, यो क्षेत्रमा ठुलो जनसङ्ख्या छ तर एकीकृत आवाज छैन, त्यो आवाज उठाउनुपर्छ भन्ने उहाँको विचार थियो। यसैगरी यो क्षेत्रमा आर्थिक दिगोपना कसरी ल्याउन सकिन्छ त्यसका लागि सार्क राष्ट्रहरूले अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने पनि उहाँको मन्तव्यमा उहाँले 30औं वार्षिकोत्सव सार्कले अर्को वर्ष मनाउँदैछ, त्यो अवसरका विषयमा पनि उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। हामीसँग साथी मनोज सत्याल हुनुहुन्छ। मनोज,
अब हाम्रो यहाँ सार्कका महासचिव रहनुभएका नेपालका अर्जुन बहादुर थापाले सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँले खास गरी यो पछिल्लो सार्कका विभिन्न गतिविधिका लगायतका विषयमा र यो सम्बोधनका लागि धन्यवाद दिने कार्यक्रम रहेको छ। अर्जुन बहादुर थापा
and the chairperson of the 18th SAARC summit, Your Excellencies, the heads of states and governments, honorable ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates and distinguished representatives from observer states to SAARC, and ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor and a privilege for me to address the annual session of the 18th SAARC summit. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the esteemed government of Nepal for hosting the 18th SAARC summit and its preceding meetings, and for the excellent arrangements made for the meeting. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to their excellencies, the heads of state or government, distinguished delegates from SAARC member states, and representatives of observers to this summit. Please allow me, Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, to congratulate you on assuming the chair of the summit from today. I am confident that the SAARC process will gain further momentum during your able chairmanship. It gives me immense pleasure also to express our sincere gratitude to the Maldives for successfully carrying out the responsibility I chair over the last 3 years. Excellencies, from the serene blue ocean of the Maldives to the majestic white Himalayas of Nepal, SAARC has covered a momentous journey in the past 3 years. We hope to continue this journey with added vigor and dynamism under the kind guidance of the chair and other member states. The year 2014 has been particularly significant for SAARC. The journey that began with the inter-summit session of the Council of Ministers in Mali in February came to a turning point with the getting together of our leaders in New Delhi in May during the swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency Shri Narendra Modi as Prime Minister of India. With the convening of the 18th summit in Kathmandu this November, we have traversed an important milestone. Excellencies, with the last 3 years witnessing important positive changes in our country, and where South Asia is poised today, politically, economically, and socially, the region holds immense promise for a takeoff. Connectivity is the cornerstone of SAARC endeavors, and in this context, finalization of railways and motor vehicles agreement is indeed a welcome development. As significant progress has been made towards finalization of these agreements, we do hope that the agreements will be signed soon so that business and people-to-people contacts get a fillip. It is also equally pleasing to note that the framework agreement on energy cooperation, energy cooperation electricity has also been finalized, and we do hope that this agreement will be signed at the earliest. Poverty alleviation continues to be the overarching goal of SAARC. It ought to be so, as it is estimated that the region is home to the largest number of poor in the world. As the world finalizes the post-2015 development agenda, it would be in the interest of SAARC to present its common positions on possible areas during its negotiations. Moreover, with the experience gained from regionalizing MDGs into SDGs, we may also like to evolve our own development agenda beyond 2015. Health is another core area for better quality of life of our peoples. In this context, SAARC has formulated a strategy for HIV/AIDS, nutrition and sanitation, and prevention of communicable diseases. Social issues, gender equality, and child rights too have found a prominent place in the SAARC discourse. With 50% of our population engaged in agriculture, this sector has been accorded due priority in our deliberations. As food security is an important national and regional priority, far-reaching initiatives, namely SAARC Food Bank and SAARC Seed Bank, need to be pursued vigorously. Regional cooperation for the preservation, protection and management of the diverse and fragile ecosystem of the region is crucial to mitigate the adverse impacts of climate change in the region. The SAARC Convention on Cooperation on Environment and the SAARC Agreement on Rapid Response to Natural Disasters that we have already signed are landmark achievements in this regard. Excellencies, the economic agenda has been in the forefront with regular meetings taking place to take stock of progress in SAFTA, SATIS and other agreements and mechanisms. A recent study commissioned by the SAARC Secretariat with the help of the Asian Development Bank has recommended the next steps towards deeper economic integration, leading eventually to the goal of a South Asian Economic Union, as envisioned by our leaders during their successive summits. Undoubtedly, we need to put the economic agenda on the fast track, as ultimately SAARC will be judged in history by our economic successes. Ever since its establishment in 2010, the SAARC Development Fund has been functioning as an umbrella organization, as an umbrella funding organization. Currently, 9 projects are underway in member states in the social sector, bringing dividends of regional collaboration directly to beneficiaries. With the successful functioning of the social window of the fund, it is now time for us to move towards operationalizing its economic and infrastructure windows, paving the way for large-scale investment in these areas. In the last 3 years, 19 ministerial meetings...
थापाले आफ्नो खास गरी समीक्षात्मक धारणा राख्नुभयो र उहाँले सार्कका गतिविधिका विषयमा आफ्नो धारणा राख्नुभयो। खास गरी सार्क युनिभर्सिटी, त्यसै गरी सार्कका क्षेत्रीय संस्थाहरू कसरी काम गरिरहेका छन् र यहाँको खास समस्या के हो भन्ने विषयमा क्षेत्रीय मुद्दा र एजेन्डाका विषयमा धारणा राख्नुभयो। र उहाँले सार्कको गोल चाहिँ पोभर्टी एलिमिनेसन, खास गरी गरिबी निवारणतर्फ चाहिँ केन्द्रित हुनुपर्ने, यहाँको 50% जनसङ्ख्याको खाद्य सुरक्षा नभएको कुरा पनि राख्नुभयो र सार्कको पपुलेसन भइकन पनि कुरा राख्न नसकेको प्रति पनि उहाँको ध्यान थियो। थप कुराकानीका लागि पहिलो पोस्ट सहकर्मी रविराज बराल।
18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनको लाइभमा हामी जुटिरहेका छौँ। खास गरी अर्जुन बहादुर कार्कीले, उहाँ महासचिव हुनुहुन्छ सार्कका, उहाँले दक्षिण एसियाली देशसँग असीमित प्राकृतिक सम्पदा छ तर यहाँको एकीकृत आवाज हुन नसकेका कारण अर्जुन बहादुर थापा, माफ गर्नुहोला, अहिले पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रहरूको तर्फबाट मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्ने कार्यक्रम भएको छ। अहिले अस्ट्रेलियाले आफ्नो मन्तव्य राखिरहेको छ।
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Australia is delighted, sir, as an observer to address the 18th SAARC Summit. Extraordinary economic potential. The International Monetary Fund projects that South Asia's GDP will grow by more than 5.5% in 2014. However, South Asia remains one of the least integrated regions in the entire world. A range of factors contribute to this, including a shortage of infrastructure and onerous customs procedures. Imagine, Mr. Chairman, just imagine how much stronger this growth could be if these problems could be overcome. Australia is very pleased to be able to support SAARC and South Asia as you tackle these obstacles to integration. In 2014-15, we expect to provide a total of over $400 million in development assistance to SAARC members. Our strong focus is on trade facilitation, and I'm pleased to advise you that in 2015, Australia will scale up our support for integration in South Asia with a new $20 million initiative to help trade flow more freely between SAARC members. But our biggest and most long-term investments are in education, from schools to technical and vocational education, to increase participation, to set standards and to improve quality. And I'm pleased to announce, Mr. Chairman, that Australia will fund a further 290 long-term scholarships to South Asian students in 2015 under the Australian Awards Program, with short-term study and internship opportunities in addition to that number. Furthermore, under an initiative known as the New Colombo Plan, young Australian undergraduate students will be funded to study and undertake work experience here in South Asia. The Australian government recognises that our future, that Australia's future, is closely linked with your future, with South Asia and the Indo-Pacific region. We want to give young Australians an understanding of the rich cultures of our neighbours and the opportunity to build lasting friendships and lasting contacts. Our future, increasingly, is your future. It's a common future, and it will be built by our young people studying and working together in your countries and in mine. Australia and South Asia.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Chinese delegation is delighted to attend the 18th SAARC summit in this beautiful city of Kathmandu. I wish to extend warm congratulations on the successful opening of the summit and express sincere appreciation to the Nepalese government for the thoughtful arrangements. I'd also like to thank SAARC Secretary General and the staff of the Secretariat for their efforts made in the preparation of this summit. South Asia is a promising subcontinent of the 21st century. In recent years, South Asian countries have made impressive achievements in safeguarding stability, developing economy, and exploring paths of development suited to their national conditions. As the most important regional cooperation organization in South Asia, SAARC has kept improving its cooperation mechanism and played an irreplaceable role for safeguarding peace and stability in South Asia and promoting economic and social development of the members and the integration process of South Asia. China is truly delighted to see the new progress SAARC has made and wishes SAARC even greater development in future. Your Excellencies, China shares boundaries with 5 of 8 South Asian countries, and we are close neighbors and good friends of mutual independence and mutual assistance with all the 8 South Asian countries. The future and destiny of our countries are getting closely entwined. Nowadays, the Chinese people are striving to realize China's dream of great national renewal, while the South Asian countries are also experiencing big changes and transformation. We, the 9 countries, with our 3 billion population, should seize opportunities and work together to meet challenges and pursue common development. Your Excellencies, since becoming for 5,000 youth and training of 5,000 Chinese language teachers for South Asian countries in the next 5 years, and implementing the China-South Asian Partnership Initiative for Science and Technology. We look forward to SAARC countries' active participation in these cooperation programs, and we believe they will lend fresh impetus to China-SAARC cooperation. Excellencies, China will make sound plans for cooperation with SAARC in 2015 under this framework and fully deliver on the various cooperation commitments. China will effectively implement the regular exchange programs between the Chinese Foreign Ministry and the Secretariat. Work to build the China-South Asia Expo, the China-South Asian Business Forum, and the China-South Asian Friendship Organization Forum into important platforms for China-SAARC cooperation. China will do its best to ensure the success of a series of cooperation projects in 2015, including the group of South Asian countries' senior diplomats visiting China, the seminar for cadres from South Asian political parties, the symposium for promoting South Asian countries' exports to China, the China-South Asian think tank strategic dialogue, and the exchange program for SAARC countries' radio and TV journalists and producers. Your Excellencies, in support of SAARC capacity building, China has decided to donate another $550,000 in cash to the SAARC Development Fund in this year. China will continue to provide support and assistance to SAARC for its continued building up and development. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this summit of SAARC is deeper integration for peace and prosperity. China firmly advocates, participates in, and promotes regional cooperation. Since last year, China has put forward a host of regional cooperation initiatives, including Economic Belt of Silk Road, 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, Community of Common Destiny between China and ASEAN, the Economic Corridor among Bangladesh, China, India, and align China's dream with the development vision of South Asian countries, so as to bring more benefits to South Asian countries through China's development and achieve our common prosperity and development. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I wish the 18th SAARC Summit a complete success. Thank you for your attention.
चीनका उपविदेश मन्त्री लिउ झेनमिन आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट। उहाँले चीन 2006 सालदेखि सार्कको पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्र हो। उहाँले गरिबी निवारण, कृषि, ऊर्जा क्षेत्र, विज्ञान प्रविधि जस्ता क्षेत्रमा चीनले निरन्तर रूपमा दक्षिण एसियाली देशहरूलाई सहयोग गर्न तयार रहेको आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी चीनिया राष्ट्रपति सी जिङपिङको दक्षिण एसियाली देशहरूमा भएको भ्रमणले यहाँको विकासका लागि नयाँ इतिहास रचेको पनि उहाँले बताउनुभयो। यसैगरी सडक निर्माण लगायतका कुरामा पनि सहयोग रहने उहाँले बताउनुभयो। अहिले पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट इरानले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दैछ।
Government and delegates, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to the government of Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal for the very warm and gracious hospitality that have been extended to me and my delegation. I am very delighted to be here in this beautiful capital city of Kathmandu to attend 18th Summit of South Asian Association for and Prosperity, which is titled for 18th SAARC Summit. We do believe that in order to enhance Asia regional connectivity, we have to use capacities of the existing corridors and potentials for their extension. They are physical arms to strengthen regional connectivity. For the reason of special geographical potentials, Islamic Republic of Iran, under some programs such as New Silk Road, the transport corridors, Europe, South Asia, Trasica, and North-South corridor, and etc., is a strategic route and provides great opportunities for the consolidation and expansion of economic relations between West Asia, Central Asia, and Europe, for integrating into the world economy and becoming an international transport junction. We are confident to pursue our common agendas and agreed goals through joint initiatives while remaining committed for maximizing our cooperation through this organization. Here I would like to seize opportunity and express the readiness of my country for tangible, successful, and fruitful cooperation with SAARC through joint investment in gas, CNG, and oil, electrical energy, exchange of knowledge and experience for development of engineering services, consulting for building the solar and wind power plants, and holding the workshops and training services in the area of renewable energies. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I deem it necessary to emphasize our conviction that the enhancement of the international standing of SAARC is closely tied to the promotion of joint projects involving the private sector as its key player. Here I wish to reiterate that my country is fully prepared to support any measure leading to the promotion of SAARC joint initiatives. I thank you for your attention.
इरानका मन्त्री हुनुहुन्थ्यो इरानका मन्त्री अब्बास अखमदीले सम्बोधन गर्दै खास गरी एसियन क्षेत्रमा खास गरी साउथ एसियामा डाइनामिक र यङ म्यान पावर भएको नयाँ उदयमान आर्थिक शक्ति राष्ट्रहरू पनि रहेको भन्दै नेपाल लगायतका सार्क कन्ट्रीहरूको तारिफ गर्नुभयो र अब जापानका मन्त्रीले खास गरी शुभेच्छा सम्बोधन गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ र इरानका तर्फबाट भने ग्यास ओइलमा सहयोग गर्ने वचन आएको छ।
Opportunity to read the statement on behalf of Mr. Fumio Kishida, Minister for Foreign Affairs of Japan. The Right Honorable Sushil Koirala, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal and the Chair of SAARC, Excellencies and distinguished participants. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the holding of the 18th SAARC Summit hosted by the government of the Nepal and commend excellent chairmanship of Nepal. I would like to pay our utmost respect for the endeavors of the SAARC Secretariat toward promoting regional cooperation. Mr. Chairperson, Japan attaches its importance to the strengthening cooperation with SAARC as a whole, as well as its member states, and has designated Ambassador of Japan to Nepal as permanent representative of Japan to SAARC. The theme of this summit, deeper integration for peace and prosperity, matches Japan's intention to promote cooperation with each SAARC member states in areas such as energy, people-to-people exchange, democratization, and peace building, and thus to contribute to enhancing integration and connectivity within SAARC. With regard to the energy, stable supply of electricity is a common challenge for all SAARC member states. Japan has held Japan SAARC Symposium on Energy 7 times since 2006. In the 8th and additional 64 people are expected to visit Japan in December. Mr. Chairperson, we are convinced that the firm establishment of democracy and the realization of peaceful society in each country serves as the most important foundation for the development and the prosperity of the SAARC region, and for the realization of deeper integration within SAARC. Japan will continue to extend its cooperation in enhancing peace building, national reconciliation, democratization, governance in the SAARC region as part of its effort under the policy of proactive contribution to peace based on the principle of the international cooperation. Regarding the cooperation in disaster risk reduction, the third UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction will be held in Sendai next month. It is expected to adopt the succeeding framework of Hyogo Framework, which was adopted in 2005 and has been the international guideline for disaster risk reduction. This conference is therefore particularly important in further promoting the cooperation in the field of disaster risk reduction between Japan and SAARC countries, all of which are disaster prone and have suffered from the number of natural disasters. We hope to have the high-level participant from the SAARC member states. In closing, Japan would like to contribute to strengthening integration and connectivity among the SAARC countries by developing the new area of cooperation toward deeper integration on top of the cooperation extended so far. I hope that this summit will give impetus to further enhance the relationship among the SAARC member states as well as between them and relevant countries. Thank you for your kind attention.
जापानका राजदूत मसासी ओगावा आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुन्थ्यो पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट सार्कका सबै राष्ट्रहरूलाई सहयोग गर्न हामी तयार छौँ, खास गरी ऊर्जा, लोकतान्त्रिकरण, शान्ति सुरक्षाका क्षेत्रमा उहाँको मन्तव्यमा थियो। यसै ऊर्जा क्षेत्रमा बढाउन सक्ने सहयोग के हुन्छन् र सहकार्यका क्षेत्रहरू के हुन्छन् त्यसका बारेमा पनि हामी
South Asia as the region is rapidly rising as a dynamic new market. Due to its high growth rate during the past few years, South Asia has been noted anew for its huge potential for development. Accordingly, the international community's attention on and anticipation of SAARC as a major regional architecture in this region have become greater than ever. At this juncture, it is encouraged to know that measures for strengthening cooperation with observers have been discussed in the high-level meetings on the occasion of the 18th SAARC summit. The Republic of Korea will pay heed to the outcomes of the summit and continue to seek ways to better contribute to strengthen cooperation with the South Asian partners in accordance with the vision of SAARC. Excellencies, as a delegate of the Republic of Korea seeking more active cooperation with the SAARC, I would like to briefly introduce the past works we have conducted and the efforts we will make in our cooperation between the Republic of Korea and SAARC. The South Asian region has emerged as one of Korea's main economic partners, as trade between Korea and SAARC's member countries amounted to $21.1 billion now. As the investment by Korean companies in this region has been expanding rapidly, it has been greatly contributing to South Asia's economic development, especially through investment in infrastructure such as roads, dams, and power generation. South Asia is one of Korea's most important partners in development cooperation. Most countries in the region are Korea's ODA priority partners, and ODA to the region makes up more than 20% of Korea's total assistance. The Republic of Korea has also been providing 90,000 jobs to workers from South Asia through the employment permit system. Since Korea was granted SAARC observer status in 2006, it has actively undertaken programs to share its development experience with the SAARC partners. Korea has invited around 100 government officials from South Asian countries as trainees every year since 2008 through the SAARC Special Training Program in various fields of SAARC's interest, including agriculture, infrastructure, public health, ICT, energy, and environment. Korea has held ROK SAARC partnership seminars annually since 2010 as a long-term mechanism to explore future fields of cooperation between Korea and SAARC. Excellencies, as part of efforts to further expand and deepen cooperation with the South Asian region, I would like to state that it is opportune to explore possibility of having more structured interaction between ROK and SAARC, like the ROK-SAARC Foreign Ministers meeting. For strengthening unilateral diplomacy with regional bodies around the world, Korea has been building various networks with many regions like GCC, the Arab League, FEALAC, CELAC, the Visegrad Group, ASEAN, and PIF. And now, Korea seeks to expand these efforts to include the South Asian region. The Foreign Ministers meeting with the SAARC members even seems late in light of the increasing importance of South Asia in the international fora. This proposal for holding the ROK-SAARC Foreign Ministers meeting reflects the strong will of the Korean government to strengthen cooperation with the South Asian region. Moreover, the ROK-SAARC Foreign Ministers meeting, if materialized, can be a mechanism for reviewing of current interest between the ROK and the South Asian region, and we can substantively discuss measures for strengthening future cooperation through this meeting. I ask the heads of state and governments of SAARC for your support for and attention on this suggestion, also in the light of SAARC strengthening relations with observer countries. I assure you that Korea can become a most reliable partner that can contribute peace, prosperity, and development in South Asia. As all of you are aware, Korea has gone through difficulties in the past, as it has been under colonial rule and experienced devastation of a war. The country lacks national resources, faces a divide in the peninsula, and confronts security threats. Yet, through all these challenges, Korea has achieved democracy and economic development, and has transformed from an aid recipient to a major aid donor. With this valuable experience, it is my firm belief that Korea is an ideal partner for cooperation, as it has founded its relationship on trust with the SAARC member countries. Once again, I extend my congratulations on the successful hosting of the 18th SAARC Summit, and I hope that through this summit, the South Asian countries will take another step forward towards deeper integration for peace and prosperity. Thank you very much.
दक्षिण कोरियाका उपविदेश मन्त्री क्याङ सोली आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। उहाँले विश्वले नै दक्षिण एसियाबाट ठुलो अपेक्षा गरेको छ, किनभने यो विश्वलाई नै ध्यान केन्द्रित गर्न सक्ने नयाँ बजार हो। त्यसैगरी उहाँले सार्क क्षेत्रमा आर्थिक साझेदार हो कोरिया, सबैभन्दा ठुलो पूर्वाधार निर्माणमा सहकार्य गर्न, खास गरी ऊर्जा र सडकमा सहकार्य गर्न दक्षिण कोरिया तयार छ, उहाँको मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त थियो। त्यसैगरी सार्क राष्ट्र अध्यक्ष र सरकार प्रमुखहरूलाई उहाँले यस क्षेत्रमा शान्ति, समृद्धि र विकासको क्षेत्रमा गर्न सकिने सहकार्यका क्षेत्र पहिल्याउन आग्रह पनि गर्नुभयो। अब म्यानमारले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दैछ।
Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, Excellency, Head of State and Government, distinguished delegates, observers and guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I am very much delighted to be here in this beautiful capital city of Nepal. On behalf of the government of Myanmar, I would like to convey my heartfelt appreciation to the government of Nepal and SAARC Secretariat for the warm and generous hospitality accorded to me and my delegation, and for the excellent arrangement to host this summit. I am greatly honored to attend the 18th SAARC Summit. This is the third time Myanmar is participating at the SAARC Summit since it got an observer status at the 15th Summit held in Colombo in August 2008. I warmly congratulate Your Excellency, Mr. Sushi Koyala, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, on his assumption of the chairmanship of SAARC. I strongly believe that Your Excellency could lead the SAARC process to a newer height of dynamism and success with your vision, wisdom, and leadership. And I also wish to pay a special tribute to His Excellency Abdul Yamin Abdul, President of Maldives, for his exemplary stewardship of SAARC as the outgoing chairmanship. As an observer of SAARC, Myanmar reiterated its pledge to closely cooperate with SAARC member countries to achieve its goal and objectives in accordance with the guidelines of observer country of this regional organization. We are pleased to witness that South Asia today has been playing a significant role in the maintenance of peace and stability, as well as in promoting economic and social development of the region. We can see the impressive progress, momentum, and scope of cooperation in the region. Myanmar delegation believe that the themes selected for this summit, namely deeper integration for peace and prosperity, is more relevant. In light of the current challenges in the region, the SAARC member states need to enhance deeper integration for both regional and international peace and security. This 18th summit will help members countries and observers to find out ways and means for fulfilling this task. Mr. Chairman and Excellency, I would like to take this opportunity to brief the recent development in Myanmar. The government has been implementing a series of reform processes in political, economic, social, administrative area and development of private sector in a systematic and steady manner. We have set and implemented the framework of economic and social reforms, like changes in tax system, elevation of some trade and investment rules, arrangement of the launch of an e-government system, and projects for rural development and poverty reduction. Our new government has managed to establish peace, stability, and the rules of law throughout the country as much as possible. It has extended all-out efforts to reach at the nationwide peace agreement where all ethnic armed groups by establishing the principle of possession for the peace process. We are confident that there will be tangible results from this peace process in very near future. Myanmar is determined to keep the current reforms on right track. Regarding international relations, Myanmar has pursued an independent, active, and non-aligned foreign policy based on the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, while maintaining friendly relations with all the nations. Now, we have better relations and closer cooperation with countries around the world, including SAARC countries, thanks to our reform process and its subsequent achievement. The understanding and support of the international community give us contribute to building a smoother path to become a democratic and economically development nation. Mr. Chairman and Excellency, we successfully hosted the 3rd BIMSTEC Summit in Naypyidaw in March 2014. We already transferred the chairmanship of BIMSTEC to Nepal at that summit. We truly appreciate His Excellency, Mr. Sushil Koirala, Prime Minister of Nepal, for attending this summit with us. During the chairmanship of ASEAN, Myanmar has tried its best to make this potential materialize for better regional integration and cooperation. Mr. Chairman and Excellency, we welcome the outcome of 17th SAARC Summit to promote cooperation in environmental preservation, poverty alleviation, combating terrorism, trade, communication, transport, education, agriculture, energy, and tourism sector. In addition, there exist many other areas in which cooperation can be expanded between Myanmar and members of SAARC. I would like to reaffirm that Myanmar government fully share the goals and objectives of SAARC and express its readiness to deepen cooperation with both members and observer of SAARC for regional peace and prosperity. May I extend my best wishes for greater success of SAARC in future. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
म्यानमारका विदेश मामिला उपमन्त्री उटिन आउ लियुनले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट। उहाँले आर्थिक विकास र अन्य सहकारीका क्षेत्रमा सार्क राष्ट्रहरूले प्रगति गरेको पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट बताउनुभयो। त्यसैगरी म्यानमारले राजनीतिक, आर्थिक, प्रशासनिक र निजी क्षेत्रमा सुधारका विभिन्न कार्यक्रम ल्याएको उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी उहाँले यो सुधारको कार्यक्रमलाई सही दिशामा लैजान हामी प्रतिबद्ध छौँ। त्यसैगरी वातावरण संरक्षण, व्यापार, यातायात, शिक्षा, पर्यटन, आतंकवाद नियन्त्रण लगायतका क्षेत्रमा पनि सहकार्य गर्न आफू तयार रहेको बताउनुभयो। अब पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रतर्फबाट अमेरिकाले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दैछ।
It is a pleasure to be here today representing the United States of America at the 18th Summit of the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Let me begin by adding my congratulations to the government of Nepal and to Secretary General Thapa for a tremendous job in organizing this summit and for extending such wonderful hospitality to us all. Since 2007, when the United States joined SAARC as an observer, we have witnessed the region's rapid economic rise and growing importance. And given that South Asia will likely be the most populous region by the year 2060, this year's SAARC Summit theme of deeper integration for peace and prosperity could not be more timely or appropriate to the needs of the region. And we have heard the words of optimism and determination today that give us great hope for the region. Indeed, it is a time of hope and great opportunity, as South Asians can be justifiably proud that every country in their region is a democracy. In fact, in the past 18 months, every country in the region has held elections or will soon be holding elections. The most recent being Afghanistan, where political leaders showed tremendous courage to reach compromise and create a unity government that is focused on enhancing stability, security, and prosperity for the Afghan people. In India, we have seen another historic election with the largest ever electorate, bringing into office an empowered single-party government with a mandate for inclusive development that speaks to the hopes and aspirations of 1.2 billion Indians. Nepal, following its own successful elections, is moving forward with drafting a constitution that completes its transition out of conflict and towards a more enduring peace. For all the countries of the region, the need of the hour is for a South Asia that is connected through trade and transit, where goods and people can move more freely and where power trading and water sharing become the currency of that connectivity. We see great promise in the recent efforts by India and Nepal to advance power trade and hydropower development cooperation, and in the agreement reached between Afghanistan and Pakistan on transit pricing for the Central Asia, South Asia Electricity Transmission Project, CASA 1000, which we are proud to have been supporting. In fact, the United States fully supports these regionally led efforts and the focus on connectivity, energy, environment, economic cooperation, and the other areas that have been put forward as priorities by the SAARC members. Our own efforts have focused on promoting economic, energy, transit, and people-to-people connectivity across South Asia and beyond through our new Silk Road initiatives and support for an Indo-Pacific economic corridor. We also strongly support effort strategy by partnering economic connectivity with transparent, accountable, and inclusive government. SAARC members can more effectively counter the negative forces of extremism and terrorism and provide a more hopeful future for the people of South Asia. And as you work together to build a more prosperous future for the region, I want to assure you that you will have the full support of the United States. Not only will we continue to work with you bilaterally with individual member countries on their economic development priorities, but we will work with the SAARC collective on its goals on regional integration and connectivity. Mr. Chairman, thank you, Excellencies. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this 18th SAARC Summit.
अमेरिकाका एसिस्टेन्ट सेक्रेटरी साउथ एसिया र सेन्ट्रल एसियाका लागि निशा देसाई विश्वाल आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। उहाँले नेपाल संविधान निर्माणको प्रक्रिया सम्पन्न गरी दिगो शान्तितर्फ प्रवेश गर्दैछ, यस्तै अन्य देशहरूले पनि प्रगति गर्दैछन्। नेपाल र भारतबीच ऊर्जा सम्झौता लगायतका विषयमा उहाँले चर्चा गर्नुभयो। आर्थिक सहकार्य गर्न अमेरिका तयार छ, खास गरी ऊर्जा र अन्य क्षेत्रहरूमा उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। त्यसैगरी आर्थिक सहकार्यले मात्र होइन, दिगो शान्ति स्थापनालाई सुशासन चाहिन्छ भन्नुभयो। अब युरोपेली युनियनका तर्फबाट पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्ने कार्यक्रम छ। युरोपेली युनियनले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दैछ।
For giving me this opportunity to read out a brief message on behalf of Ms. Federica Mogherini, the European Union High Representative for Foreign Policy and Security and Vice President of the Commission. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the EU strongly supports SAARC and greatly values cooperation and regional integration in South Asia. While most countries in the region are achieving notable economic growth, this could still be significantly enhanced if intra-regional contacts and trade were to take off unhindered. A clear vision for South Asia, complemented by sustained efforts around regional cooperation and connectivity, could help make this region even more vibrant economically. We trust that the European Union, as the only regional body that has observer status in SAARC, can contribute usefully to enhancing regional cooperation in South Asia through our role as a development partner. SAARC provides an excellent opportunity to foster greater connectivity, integration, and progress in South Asia. The progress made so far towards regional integration needs to be further consolidated in the near future through the building of mutual trust. The future of SAARC largely relies on how its members narrow down their differences and build a common understanding to pursue the set goals of economic development and regionalism. And all members of SAARC have an important role to play. SAARC needs a clear roadmap to ensure that there is a strong connectivity amongst the people of the region, and that key infrastructural initiatives such as customs facilities, railways, air services, ports and roads are developed in each country and regionally. But SAARC will only be able to bring positive changes in the lives of its citizens if it succeeds to further liberalize inter-regional trade going beyond the SAFTA provisions. Joint investments in water resources and the installation of a regional power grid are top priorities, and the promotion of regional tourism, greater cultural exchanges, and unhindered and effective communication also need special attention. The EU stands ready to continue its support to these endeavors. The development of a robust regional educational and health networks and adequate people-to-people contacts backed by good neighborly diplomacy will also change things for the better. Let me conclude by wishing this 18th SAARC Summit all success in its endeavors and in the definition of its future programs for a secure and prosperous South Asia. Thank you.
युरोपेली युनियनका राजदूत ट्वेन्जी टिनिङ्सले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो। उहाँले युरोपेली युनियन सार्कको एकमात्र क्षेत्रीय पर्यवेक्षक हो, यसले 3 बिलियन युरोभन्दा बढी वार्षिक रूपमा यो क्षेत्रमा सहयोग दिने गरेको छ। यसका सदस्य राष्ट्रहरूले आफ्नोमा रहेको कटुता न्यूनीकरण गरेमा मात्रै सार्कको भविष्य निर्धारण हुने उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। यसैगरी अन्तर्क्षेत्रीय व्यापारलाई उदारीकरण गर्दै जाँदा मात्र यस क्षेत्रका नागरिकले फाइदा लिन सक्छन्, उहाँले आफ्नो मन्तव्यमा व्यक्त गर्नुभयो। पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रहरूले अहिले आफ्नो मन्तव्य व्यक्त गरिरहेका छन्। 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन अहिले काठमाडौँको सभागृहमा भइरहेको छ।
February 2014 and the 36th session of the Council of Ministers held in Kathmandu yesterday. The reports are contained in document number SAARC/CM.35/03 and respectively. May I take it that this meeting wishes to approve the reports as they are presented before us? It is decided I now move to agenda item number 10, which is consideration of reports/records of ministerial meetings. We will consider the agenda item number 9 later, which was signed.
सार्कको अब प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनमा बोल्दै हुनुहुन्छ र सार्कको मन्त्री स्तरीय बैठक बसेको थियो। खास गरी सहसचिव स्तरीय बैठकले तय गरेको एजेन्डालाई सचिव स्तरीय र त्यसपछि सार्कका मन्त्री स्तरीय बैठकले हिजो र आज बिहान बसेको बैठकले अनुमोदन गरेको विषयलाई अब यहाँ प्रस्तुत गरिँदैछ, जुन भोलि सार्कको घोषणापत्रमा उल्लेख हुनेछ।
18/23 and SAARC/Summit .18/25. I take it that this meeting wishes to approve these reports and records. It is decided. Excellencies, I have the pleasure to inform you that the government of Nepal has decided to issue a special commemorative postal cover on the auspicious occasion of the hosting of 18th SAARC Summit. I now invite Honorable Dr. Minendra Rizal, Minister for Information and Communication of the Government of Nepal, to come to the table set up in the front of a fixed cancellation mark on the special commemorative postal cover and present it to their excellencies, the head of the state or government.
नेपालका सूचना तथा संचार मन्त्री मेनेन्द्र रिजालले हुलाक टिकटमा टाँचा लगाउने यो विशेष अवसरमा 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनको अवसरमा जारी गरिएको हुलाक टिकटमा टाँचा लगाउनका लागि हुलाक टिकटमा यति बेला हस्ताक्षर गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ र त्यसमा टाँचा लगाउने कार्य अगाडि बढिरहेको छ। 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन आज र भोलि हुनेछ र भोलि सम्मेलनले काठमाडौँ घोषणापत्र जारी गर्नेछ र यो सम्मेलन किन पनि उपलब्धिपूर्ण हुने देखिएको छ भने खास गरी यसमा यसपटक भारत र पाकिस्तानका एजेन्डाले केही रूपमा प्राथमिकता पाएका छैनन्। यद्यपि भारतीय मिडियाहरूमा भारत र पाकिस्तानका एजेन्डाहरू मुख्य रूपमा आएका छन्, तर भारत र पाकिस्तानका प्रधानमन्त्री यहाँ नभेट्ने कुराकानी उठिरहेको छ। यद्यपि नेपाल सरकारले जुन होस्ट कन्ट्री पनि हो सार्कको, त्यसले भोलि रिट्रिटका लागि धुलीखेलमा लैजाँदैछ र त्यहाँ भने भारत र पाकिस्तानका प्रधानमन्त्रीबीच भेटघाट हुनेछ। यद्यपि त्यसलाई औपचारिकता दिइने छैन, तर भेटघाट र कुराकानी नहुने नै भने होइन, त्यहाँ भेटघाट हुनेछ र यो भेटघाट कस्तो किसिमको अनौपचारिक किसिमले 20-22 मिनटको भेटघाट हुने भनेर बाहिर केही सुरक्षा निकायका स्रोतहरूले हामीलाई जानकारी दिएका छन् र हामी आशा गरौँ त्यहाँ भएका केही भेटघाटका बारेमा हामी पछि जानकारी पाउने।
अनि जस्तो मनोज, यो पाकिस्तानी प्रधानमन्त्री र भारतीय प्रधानमन्त्री सोल्टी होटलमा पनि अब छुट्टाछुट्टै बिल्डिङमा बसेका छन् भन्ने त्यो यस्तो समाचारहरू आइरहेछन्। के छ तपाईँलाई यस बारेमा के जानकारी छ?
होटल सोल्टीमा खास गरी प्रत्येक देशका 13 जनाका लागि सरकारले स्विट रुमहरू बुक गरेको छ र जुन बिल्डिङहरू छन् त्यहाँ बनाइएका स्विट रुमहरूको बिल्डिङ त्यो ओल्लो छेउ र पल्लो छेउमा बनाइएको छ। यसको मतलब भारत र पाकिस्तानको त्यो किसिमको अवस्था छ र यहाँ भारतीय मिडियाहरूले दिएअनुसार हात मिलाउनु भएको छैन। खास गरी भारत र पाकिस्तानका प्रधानमन्त्रीहरूले यहाँ हात नमिलाएको अवस्था हो अहिलेसम्म र अब तपाईहरुले दृश्यमा देखिरहनु भएको छ टाँचा लगाउने काम अगाडि बढिरहेको छ हामी पहिलो पोस्टका तर्फबाट प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणमा छौं रविराज बराल उमेश श्रेष्ठ त्यसैगरी अनन्त कोइराला र ऋषिकेश दाहाल हाम्रो टिम यो प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणमा जुटिरहेको छ र नेपालका सूचना तथा सञ्चार मन्त्री मेनेन्द्र रिजाल हुलाक टिकटलाई लिएर टाँचा लगाउन अगाडि बढ्दै हुनुहुन्छ र हुलाक टिकटको टाँचा लगाउने काम अगाडि बढिरहेको छ र रवि यो सार्क शिखर सम्मेलनको महत्त्व र यहाँ आएका धारणाहरूलाई कसरी हेर्नु भएको छ यहाँले
खास गरी भर्खर मात्र पर्यवेक्षक राष्ट्रका तर्फबाट 9 वटा देशहरूले आफ्नो धारणा राखे उनीहरूले सार्कलाई कसरी हेरिरहेका छन् भन्ने विषयमा उनीहरूले आफ्नो मन्तव्य राखे र सार्क राष्ट्रहरूले खास गरी यहाँ ऊर्जा सञ्चार लगायतका क्षेत्रहरूमा सञ्जाल विस्तारमा अहिले महत्त्वपूर्ण कामहरू गरिरहेको भन्दै उनीहरूले सन्तोष पनि व्यक्त गरेका छन् र अहिले सञ्चार मन्त्री सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन भइरहेको सभागृहमा खास हलमा सबै राष्ट्रका सरकार प्रमुख र राष्ट्राध्यक्षहरूलाई हुलाक टिकट हस्तान्तरण गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ
यो हुलाक टिकट खास गरी यो 18औं सार्क शिखर सम्मेलन नेपालमा आयोजना भएकोलाई एउटा स्मरणीय बनाउनका लागि यो हुलाक टिकट बनाइएको हो र त्यसमा टाँचा लगाइसकेपछि सबै राष्ट्रका प्रमुखहरूलाई यो वितरण गरिसकेको छ
cancellation mark on the special commemorative postal cover and presenting it to their excellencies, the head of state and government. This brings today's proceeding to an end. I adjourn the summit till tomorrow.
सार्कको सम्मेलन भर्खरै सकिएको छ यो उद्घाटन सत्र सकिएको हो र यसपछि भोलि सार्कको घोषणापत्र काठमाडौँ घोषणापत्र जारी हुनेछ अब राष्ट्राध्यक्षहरू यहाँबाट बाहिरिनेछन् आजै साँझ प्रधानमन्त्री सुशील कोइरालाले सार्कका राष्ट्राध्यक्ष र सरकार प्रमुखहरूको सम्मानमा रात्रि भोजको आयोजना गर्नुभएको छ र यो यसबीचमा द्विपक्षीय भेटवार्ता भने हुनेछन् र यसबीचमा विभिन्न राजनैतिक भेटवार्ता विभिन्न देशका प्रमुखहरू बीच हुनेछ र भोलि साँझ भने नेपालका राष्ट्रपति डाक्टर रामवरण यादवले यी राष्ट्राध्यक्ष र सरकार प्रमुखहरूका लागि रात्रि भोजको आयोजना गर्नुभएको छ र उहाँले सामूहिक रूपमा सबैलाई भेटघाट गर्नुहुनेछ यद्यपि हिजो राष्ट्रपति डाक्टर रामवरण यादवले अफगानिस्तानका राष्ट्रपति अशरफ घानीसँग भेटवार्ता गर्नुभएको थियो र यो सार्क सम्मेलनको आजको मुख्य एजेन्डा के निस्कियो भने खास गरी यो सार्कमा ठुलो जनसङ्ख्या छ तर गरिबी छ र यहाँका आवाजहरू बाहिरसम्म पुग्न सकिरहेका छैनन् भन्ने विषय